Chris Martin has arrived from Coldplay.
Hi, guys.
Hey, welcome.
How are you doing?
Well, fantastic.
Thank you for having me
How are
in.
you doing?
Well, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
This is it's exciting. I came in sort of beaming because I had a chance. I had the privilege of somehow I decoded all of the different covert operations to listen to the album.
Yeah, did it take a sort of...
Well, I mean, there was an
spy
email from
tactics?
you, and then there was this code name Mandy, and then there was can I have your cell phone, and then there was go see the guy at the corner, and I mean, it was really complicated. It took a couple of hours, but then I got to it and I cracked it, and we'll talk about that in a second. But how are you?
Well, I'm so happy to be here. I'm great.
Are you excited about what's to come? I mean, December 4th is when it comes out. The single obviously out, but what's it been like for you that this is now happening?
Well, it's one of it all started on Friday in London.
Yeah.
So since that's, I've just come to terms now with the fact that other people are going to hear this thing.
But it kind of started in a clever way in London with these billboards, didn't it?
Yes, I think so.
So can you tell the story of how people connected that the album was coming out? And
I have no idea is the answer. Phil, my best friend who's the head of our band, he deals with all that stuff. And he said, we're going to do these cool teasers.
well, there was an image on a billboard,
Yeah.
and that same image was on a T-shirt that you wore, and I think
Oh,
fans
right.
connected that.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. So that's when people started to get excited about the new album, which is coming out December 4th. So here I made these notes, and I'll let you in a break read these because I'd love to just I'd love to post this if there's nothing that gives it away. But there's so many interesting things to me. I mean, the album it's positive, it's uplifting. You feel good after you listen to it.
Oh, that's very kind. Thanks. That's the idea.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
The final thought is to not give up.
Yeah. My dad always used to tell me that as a young child and as an older child. And
Don't ever give
as
up.
a man as well.
Don't ever give
Yeah,
up.
just never give up. And so, I thought it'd be a nice thing to end the album. And then after that, very subtly, it also says, believe in love. It was quite a hippie sentiment to go out on, but I really feel it.
There are a couple of enigmatic nuances when you listen to the whole album.
You have to use words I understand.
I know. Huh?
There are a couple
No,
of
I get it.
You know what I'm saying,
Yeah, of
right?
course.
I mean, and stop me if I'm giving away too much, but there are two tracks specifically which are a little shorter in length,
Yeah, right.
which are what are they meant to do?
Oh, you mean like little interlude?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, one of them is... God, thanks for asking me about this, man. It's super, super cool. One of them is this poem called The Guest House, which was written by an old Turkish poet who died in the 13th century.
So it's not his voice, obviously. I was going to say, whose voice is it?
And this guy from Athens, Georgia, called Coleman Barks, started translating these poems for a Western audience.
Uh-huh.
And this poem is about how every feeling that we have as humans is ultimately a blessing, even though it really doesn't seem it at the time sometimes. And when I got shown this poem about 3 or 4 years ago, it really changed my life and the way of looking at the world. And so we put it in the middle of this album as a sort of thank you to that poem and that guy. And
It's interesting because you've listened to a few tracks and then all of a sudden this comes in and you're not expecting it, certainly. And then now that you've heard this, when you get the album, you understand a little bit more about
So cool.
from where
it's really
it came.
cool. And then after that, we have a tiny clip of the president singing Amazing Grace
Yeah.
at that church. And
A little unexpected.
yeah, because because of the historical significance of what he did, I think, and also that song
Yeah.
being about I was lost but now I'm found.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that poem.
Well, so
it's
when
all very thought through, right?
No, I know it is. But so when I listen to, and I know the track list is out, but I listen to, Head Full of Dreams to Birds to Everglow and all the way through to Up and
You
Up.
really listen to it, man. So
Wait,
that's,
these are my-
that's great.
Look at my notes.
I
you,
see.
you can't make that up.
I believe them.
If you read his
That's so
writing.
cool.
So
Said could be stronger in places.
a little boring midway through, but picks up towards the end.
What does not feeling this one mean?
We're really going through the paces
What does
here.
must remember to clean my socks mean? Oh my God, these aren't notes at all.
Sorry, wrong page. That's the Kelly Pickler page.
Yeah. Hey, cool, man. That's so sweet.
My question in listening to this was,
Are you a lefty?
I'm a righty.
Okay.
Yeah, he just
No,
has
just-
really messy
terrible
I
handwriting.
like the
Right.
angle.
It's terrible.
Oh, I'm
handwriting.
so sorry. What was the question?
Were these songs and emotions and lyrics and melodies conceived all sort of in the last year or so, or were some of these thoughts that you had prior, or is it a merging of both?
Well, when we started to make a record called Ghost Stories, which we put out last year, which you very kindly interviewed me about,
Yeah.
the same time that the title of that came to mind. The title, A Head Full of Dreams, came to mind. But I asked the rest of the band, do you think we could make this one first, the smaller one? I was in a sort of more intimate, small place musically. And then instead of going on tour with that, could we go right back in the studio and see how we're feeling? And they said, yeah. So the title has been around for about 3 or 4 years. But we didn't start work on it until 18 months ago, till we put out Ghost Stories.
So it really is current. In other words, it's where you were as a band and you as an individual
right
in terms
now.
of your head. It's right now.
Yeah, and also I think it was nice to make that record Ghost Stories because it's a bit smaller and it's working through some stuff to try and get to a joyful place.
But you got there. And how did you get there?
Well, by listening to that poem that I'm telling you about and by just slowly seeing the blessings in everything.
When you literally walk away, if people followed your personal life, you literally walk away feeling like you're in a really peaceful place. And I think, and again, forgive me if this digs too deep.
I forgive you.
Thank you. But it seems like you and Gwyneth have done everything in your power to keep your family together in a time where the two of you may have gone your separate ways.
Oh, right, yeah. If you want to talk about that, sure. Yeah, we have. We tried really hard. Because just because a romantic relationship ends doesn't mean that the other facets of your relationship have to end, or indeed, it doesn't mean they can't get better.
And the reason I say it in the context of this is because in listening to this, it seems like you're in a peaceful place.
I mean, to be totally honest with you, I'm so happy to be alive every day.
Really?
Yeah, really. I've done lots of work on it to realize how lucky you are to wake up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get
at our hour, it's not so lucky.
Like 4 alarms going on.
It's not so great. Maybe a little later, it's lucky.
But that's really, that's really how I feel. Even on the days where I wake up and feel a bit depressed or a bit worried or whatever. Like, well,
lucky to be alive.
I'd rather be here than not here.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. We'll come back with Chris Martin right here.
It could be anything. What was I listening to this morning? Let me think. I mean, I really like that "What Do You Mean" song, Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber, me too.
But I also, I've got an open mind with music. Is the truth, Jackie?